Hello everyone, and welcome to lesson 5.3, which is comparing with an unknown. For more information on these type of problems, which deals with translating English sentences into math statements, please go back and see the video on lesson 3.1, which goes into detail about how we break these problems down and what means what as far as problems go in translating statements. With that being said, we're just going to jump right into examples since we've done this a couple of different times along the way to get to 5.3. All right, so our first example says we have 3/11ths of a number is less than 6. So when breaking this down, we start with 3/11ths. What does that mean? Well, that's a fraction, 3 over 11. We get the term a number, which we know is just our variable, is less than is just our less than symbol, and the number 6, or the word 6, is just the number 6. That leaves us with the term, or the word of. What does that mean? Well, it has to mean one of four things. It has to mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. In this case, of means multiplication. So a lot of times when we say 3/11ths of a number or 3/11ths of something or something of something else, that's going to mean that we multiply them. Putting that all together, that gives me 3 over 11 times x is less than 6, and that gets me to my inequality. Moving on to number 2, we have 3 more than half a number is greater than or equal to 7. Well, we start out with 3, which is the number 3, more than, which we've covered before means addition, half a number. So again, we've had this like we had before, half a number. So half means 1/2. A number means times x. So A is times number is x. Is greater than or equal to, we know is our greater than or equal to sign. And then 7 is just the number 7. So we have 3 plus 1/2 x is greater than or equal to 7. The last thing that I will draw your attention to is remember that anytime we have that term more than or less than, we have to flip that around and put it behind the multiplication or the variable. So that gives us 1/2 x plus 3, since we flipped it around, is greater than or equal to 7. And that's how we get to our answer there. All right, moving on to numbers 3 and 4 of our examples here. All we have to do is write the correct solutions. And so even though these things are layered up, all we really need to do is find the two separate inequalities and write them together. Let's show you how it's done. So let's first look at the green inequality here. In green, I see I have an open circle at 4. So that means I got something is less than 4. That's a variable. Now, why do I use less than? I use less than because I'm shading to the left. And since the open circle is on 4, that's the number I'm comparing. When I switch over to the pink inequality, I notice I have a closed dot on the number 2. And we're shading to the right, so that's going to be x is greater than or equal to positive 2. Again, it's greater than because we're shading to the right. It's equal to because we have that closed dot. And then now, since I have both of those inequalities written out, the way that we express our answer is just by throwing the word or in between. So the correct solution there is x is less than 4 or x is greater than or equal to 2. And that's the correct way to write that solution. Moving on to number 4, we really do the same thing again. So we start with our green inequality. We have an open circle with shading to the left at -4. So that tells me I'm comparing the number 4, and I'm saying that it's less than 4. It's less than because there's an open circle, and I'm shaded to the left. Moving to the pink one, I have an open circle at -3, and we're shading to the right, so that means x is greater than -3. Again, it's greater than because I have an open circle and I'm shading to the right. we finish off the problem by throwing an or in between, and now I have stated my inequalities. Even though that we have two layered up on the same problem, which is kind of called a compound inequality, we express both answers separately and we put an or in between. All right, now, with that being said, we've quickly covered Lesson 5.3, which is a review of translating English sentences into math statements, and then taking a look at compound inequalities on a number line and how to write those, especially in the case of ors, where we have two separate inequalities joined in the middle with the word or. Hopefully this has helped you out in solving these problems and giving you a better understanding of what we're covering in 5.3. But as always, if you have any questions, please let me know.